Are you always the one standing behind, silently supporting, giving in, letting your family shine? But if they turn their backs, taking advantage of that sacrifice to build a life of lies, will you continue to stay silent or turn the tables? I was Vanessa, founder of Velvet & Co., my luxury event empire built on sleepless nights and sacrifice, though to my sister it was just a convenient ATM. I had built it from scratch with no connections, just me and a dream, while Samantha, my cute little sister, had spent her life trying to extort money. So when I walked into her wedding rehearsal, my heart sinking like a stone, it wasn't just about the family drama. It was about the $200,000 0 cents contract she'd forged in my name, draining my company. The room hit me like a slap in the face. The imported flowers lined up in fake rows, the chandeliers that glittered as if they were mocking me, all paid for with my blood, sweat, and tears. I was there to confront her, to ask why she thought it was okay to forge my signature. But before I could say a word, Samantha, strutting in her white gown like a Cinderella, spotted me and let go. "Get this beggar out of my wedding! This is not a soup kitchen," she yelled, her voice sharp enough to cut through the din of her overdressed crowd. Laughter erupted. A pack of coyotes in Gucci, some even pulling out their phones to snap pictures of me like I was a circus freak. I froze, their sneakers stripping me bare, dragging me back to the forgotten child that Samantha was while she stole the spotlight. Birthday parties, mom's praise, you name it, she'd called me useless to my face at 10. I guess I was still auditioning for that role. But this time, not a tear fell, not a single one. I glanced at Daniel, her groom, who was lurking in the corner like a guilty bystander. His eyes met mine, a flicker of embarrassment. He had told me at a Velvet & Co. show that he liked my honesty, a jab at Samantha's fake charm. It was a good thing that happened. Now he was just a puppet, mute in her circus. What is she doing here? Call security. Her minions snickered. I could have gone crazy right there, screamed every betrayal I'd buried for years, could have vented all my resentment since she borrowed my savings to buy a fake Prada. Instead, I kept quiet, texted my team to get the footage of the disaster, and walked out, head held high, strides steady, pride bruised but still breathing. Have you ever stayed silent when someone you love walked all over you? But if you were humiliated in front of an outsider like Vanessa, would you walk away in silence, or would you step back and reclaim your voice? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story could be an inspiration to someone else trying to step out of the shadows. In the car, I watched the clip they sent. Samantha's voice, whispering, smug like a rusty knife. Cut deep, beggar, soup kitchen. It was poetic, sister. I braced myself for the pain that was about to hit, the wave of shame. No, instead a fire flared, hot and fierce, growling inside me. I gripped the steering wheel, knuckles white, and growled, "You're gonna pay, Samantha. Big." I texted Maria, my super cool assistant. "Get the cameras ready. I need proof." This wasn't just a sibling thing anymore. It was a fight for Velvet & Co., for me. The ride flew by, my brain racing on a speedometer. Samantha thought she'd crushed me, twirling in that dress like a cheap Maleficent. She thought I'd sneak away like I always did, into the backstage she'd pushed me into since we were kids. A bad move. I'd poured my soul into Velvet & Co., built it while she batted her eyelashes and rode my coattails. That contract, that fake signature. She'd crossed a line she didn't even see. I smiled, imagining her smug face as I flipped this script. And I would. Oh, I would. Back home, I poured the wine, played the video back, let her venom sink in. Every word in that clip is not only cruel, but also venomous. No sobs, just a dark, bitter laugh that would have made anyone cringe. "Wanna play dirty, Sam?" I protested the emptiness. "Let's see how you like the attention." I texted Maria back. Dig up everything, emails, receipts, her dirty fingerprints on my company. "We're hunting." She wrote back, "Okay, boss, she's done." I slumped into a chair, wine in hand, plotting. Samantha thought she'd embarrassed me, dancing on my corpse for her fancy friends. Little did she know, she'd just handed me a match. This was no small matter anymore. It was survival. Mine, mine, mine. I'd been the fool for too long, the carpet she'd trodden on with her high heels. Not anymore. I picked up my laptop, jotted down the plan. Step 1, evidence. Step 2, expose her. Step 3, watch her burn. "Shine, girl," I whispered, grinning, unexpected and truly disgusting. So there I was, Vanessa, the chump who thought family meant something, sitting in my Velvet & Co. office at some ungodly hour, fueled by coffee and a slow-burning rage that could power a small city. After spotting Samantha's VIP booking and the forged contract bleeding my company dry, I wasn't about to sit pretty and let her waltz off with my life's work. Time to play detective in my own screwed-up soap opera. I cracked my knuckles, dialed Maria, and got straight to it. That wedding contract. Tell me everything you know about it. Now. Her voice came through, shaky, like she'd just seen a ghost. Boss, I saw it come through, and Samantha called me a while back, said you'd okayed it, told me to keep it hush-hush. I figured you were just busy, I snorted, cutting her off. Huh, busy being stabbed in the back, sure. She forged it, Maria. You're off the hook, but I need you on this yesterday. I hung up, my gut twisting. Samantha didn't just trip into this con, she'd planned it, roped my own assistant into her web with that honeyed sister knows best crap. I dove into the company email server next, hacking through passwords like a woman possessed. Bingo, haha, a treasure trove of Samantha's handiwork. A whole chain of messages to my accountant, signed Vanessa Carter in a tone so bossy it screamed fake. Approve this ASAP, one read, attached to an invoice for a $15,000 0 cents wedding gown. Another, wire $20, 0 cents for diamond studs, urgent. My jaw clenched so hard I heard it creak. She'd turned my name into her personal rubber stamp, and my staff, bless their naive little hearts, hadn't blinked. I scrolled through more. Receipts for champagne towers, a custom cake taller than me, all billed to Velvet & Co. My company wasn't just funding her wedding, it was her damn piggy bank. I leaned back, rubbing my temples, the screen's glow burning my eyes. This wasn't amateur hour, this was a calculated gut punch. But how far did it go? I grabbed my phone again, steeling myself for the call I'd been dodging. Mom picked up on the third ring, her voice all syrup and fake cheer. Vanessa, sweetie, how's my girl? I didn't waste air on pleasantries. Cut the act, Mom. That big project you pitched me, what was it, huh? Samantha's wedding? The one draining my company while you clap from the cheap seats? Silence, then a stammer. Well, she just wanted a nice day, honey. You've done so well, we thought you'd be proud to help. I barked a laugh, bitter and loud. Proud? To be robbed blind? You knew, didn't you? You knew she faked my signature. More stuttering, then, don't be dramatic, Vanessa. She's your sister. I cut her off. She's a thief, and you're her hype woman? Nice try. I hung up, my pulse thumping in my ears. Mom's fake tears didn't faze me. She'd picked her side, and it wasn't mine. That call cracked something open, though. Memories flooded in, sharp and sour. Samantha borrowing my babysitting cash for emergencies, only to strut around in new boots the next day. Mom cooing over her prom dress while I patched my jeans for the third time. Me handing over rent money while they splurged on pizza, giggling like I was the maid, not the dog. It wasn't just this wedding. They'd been milking me forever, and I'd been too busy grinding to clock it. My hands balled into fists, nails digging into my palms. Proud, she'd said. Proud to be their doormat. Hilarious. I swiveled back to the laptop, digging deeper. Another email popped up, Samantha to a vendor, whining about tightening the budget while demanding a $5,000 0 cents chandelier rental. The nerve of this chick, pinching pennies with my money like she was doing me a favor. I cross-checked dates. Some of these charges predated her engagement. She'd been siphoning cash for months, maybe longer, all under my nose. My stomach churned, but my brain was ice cold, clicking through next steps. This wasn't a petty scam. It was a full-on betrayal, a middle finger to everything I'd built. And Mom, with her nice day bullshit, was in on it. Probably counting the leftovers for her next spa trip. I paced the room, muttering to myself like a lunatic. You done, Samantha? Done. I'd spent my life taking their crap. Quiet Vanessa, helpful Vanessa, sucker Vanessa, not anymore. I texted Maria again. Set up the cameras. I want every move she makes on tape. She shot back, already rolling, boss, we've got her. Good. I needed proof, hard, undeniable, courtroom-ready proof. This wasn't just about saving Velvet & Co., it was about shredding their game to ribbons. I pictured Samantha's smug face, twirling in that gown, thinking she'd won. Keep twirling, sis, I growled, a smirk curling my lips. You're about to trip over your own lies. I sank into my chair, staring at the mess on my screen. The family I'd fought for didn't exist. They never had. It was me against them now, and I'd be damned if I let them win. No more playing nice, I whispered, voice steady as steel. You want to fight, you've got one. So there I was, Vanessa. The fool lurking in my Velvet & Co. office, running on fumes in a vendetta that could light up Vegas. After Mom's pathetic good day excuse and Samantha's string of pilfered emails, I wasn't about to let this snake swallow me whole. I needed dirt, dirty, airtight dirt, burying them alive. Step 1, become a full-time cyberstalker. I paid a pretty penny to a tech guy I found on a forum. Samantha's security was as sloppy as her ethics, $2,000. 0 cents to crack Samantha's phone like a cheap piñata. He delivered promptly, sending me a zip file with a note. Enjoy the show. Oh, I did. The messages kept coming, Samantha bragging to her best friends. Daniel's family is rich. Got them to eat me clean. Mom's debt paid off. Another gem. Vanessa's too stupid to realize. My lips curled into a sneer. Stupid, huh? Go ahead, princess. Then the emails came. Samantha and Mom plotting like cheap Bond villains. Daniel's family will pay when the ring is on, she wrote. Mom chimed in. Use the wedding to fix our names. Vanessa's money is our ticket. My money, my ticket. I almost threw my laptop out the window, but I kept scrolling. A message stopped me. Samantha sent to some random guy. Can you hack Velvet's system? Need access to her account. His reply, tried, too locked, I snorted. Good try, sis. My it guy is better than your bargain-based scammer. She'd clawed my empire from every corner and I was too busy seeing the scratches. Not anymore. I needed more ammunition, something to swing the knife. Daniel walked in, the spineless groom. I texted him, coffee, now, you owe me. He showed up at a seedy diner across town. Vanessa, I don't know her. I cut him off, sliding my phone across the table with a smirk. Save it, listen. I pressed play on a recording I'd pulled from the Velvet & Co. camcorder. Samantha, midway through a staff meeting she'd botched, spitting, that Mexican kid can't even tie his shoes properly. Fire him. Daniel's face was white, his fancy coffee cup untouched. She said that? I leaned in, my voice dripping with acid. Oh, she meant it. Your fiancé's really hot. You still want to drag your carriage into that wreckage? He wriggled, mumbled, my parents pushed for this. Business deal with her family. I never wanted to. I rolled my eyes so hard I could see my skull. Haha. Give me a good cry, Dan, you're in or out. Help me sink her, or you'll be collateral damage. He stared at the table, then nodded, barely audible. I'm in. Winning the lottery. I'd flipped the groom. Samantha's shiny trophy was now my mole. I leaned back, sipping the burnt coffee like it was victory champagne. Good girl, start talking. What's she up to next? He revealed. A fancy pre-wedding party, another money-making venture disguised as social. I put it away, the gears turning. Back in the office, I piled up my war chest. The tech guy's text? Yes. Mom's scheming email? Yes. Did that racist rant sound like it? Yellow. I added stills from the party Samantha was planning. The camera was set up to catch her every move. Maria was busy too, dropping a USB drive onto my desk with a grin. Every shady invoice she touched, boss. You're welcome. I plugged it in. Hundreds of files, a paper trail of greed so blatant it bordered on art. I sent it all to Daniel's family lawyer, making my own copies. Here's your business agreement, I typed. Enjoy the lawsuit. Let them chew on it while I sharpened my claws. I paced the office, the noise of the city outside a dull roar. This wasn't just revenge, it was surgery, cutting away the rot before it killed me. Samantha thought she'd played me, thought her little silly Vanessa jab was gospel. Wrong. I'd been the quiet one, the easy one to bully, the cash cow they'd milked dry. Now, I was the storm brewing in the dark, and they couldn't even hear the thunder. I pictured her at that party, preening unknowingly while I pulled the strings. Keep smiling, Sam, I insisted, a laugh that rang out cold and hoarse. Your spotlight's about to go black. Sitting at my desk, I stared at the pile of papers that were ready to explode at any moment. This was no longer about hurt feelings. It was about justice and brutality. She had picked the wrong person to bully. So there I was, Vanessa, the sucker who'd finally turned the tables, sitting in my Velvet & Co. office watching the world catch fire from my laptop screen. After rigging the game with Daniel's intel, the tech guy's dirt, and enough evidence to sink a small country, I hit send on the motherlode. First stop, the press. I leaked that audio of Samantha snarling about my Mexican staffer. Her racist little meltdown went live on every gossip site from here to eternity. Twitter lit up like a dumpster fire. Bridezilla's true colors, screamed one headline. Another gem. Wedding canceled, racism confirmed. I cackled, sipping coffee that tasted sweeter than revenge. Then came the video from her gala. Maria's cameras caught her schmoozing Daniel's parents, purring, "Velvet's footing the bill, don't worry," right before the forged invoices flashed on screen, courtesy of my editing skills. The internet ate it up, and I was just getting started. Daniel's family didn't waste time. Their lawyer, some shark in a $5,000 0-cent suit, called a press conference that same afternoon. The Carter family engaged in fraud, he declared, holding up my email dump like a trophy. "The engagement's off. We're suing for damages." Boom. Samantha's dream wedding evaporated faster than a cheap vape cloud, and their business deal turned into a legal nightmare. I watched the live stream, grinning as reporters swarmed. Sources said her family's debts, piled high from Mom's bad bets and Samantha's splurges, crashed down without Daniel's cash to prop them up. Foreclosure notices were already slapping their mailbox. I toasted my screen with a glass of Merlot. "Cheers to karma, ladies. She's a real bitch." The next day, Samantha showed up at my doorstep, mascara streaked, hair a mess, looking like a drowned rat in last season's Gucci. "You ruined me," she wailed, banging on the glass. "You jealous, petty little—" I swung the door open, cutting her off with a stare that could have curdled milk. "Ruined you? Nah, sis, you did that yourself. Velvet & Co. isn't your personal ATM, and I'm not your punching bag. Family doesn't mean squat when you're forging my name and spitting on my staff." She blinked, mouth flapping like a fish. But I needed it. You had so much." I laughed, sharp and mean. "Cry harder. Law's the law, blood or not. Get off my porch before I call the cops. Oh wait, they're already after you." She stumbled back, sobbing, and I slammed the door so hard the frame rattled. Good riddance. Mom tried her luck next, blowing up my phone with voicemails. "Vanessa, how could you? She's your sister. Withdraw the suit, please." Her fake sobs were Oscar-worthy, but I'd seen that act too many times. I let her ramble mid-sentence, something about family sticking together, and hit delete. Then I blocked her number. Her whining cut off like a bad radio signal. No more guilt trips, no more sweetie bribes. I'd carried them long enough they could sink on their own. I glanced at my desk. Mom's scrawled apology letter. "I'm so sorry, we didn't mean it." Sat next to Samantha's torn wedding invite. I swept both into the trash with a flick of my wrist. "Later, losers," I muttered, dusting my hands like I just cleaned out the garage. I leaned back in my chair, cracking open a bottle of red I'd been saving for a win. The office was quiet, just the hum of victory in the air. Velvet & Co.'s neon sign glowed outside, steady and mine again. I had canceled the auto transfers to Mom's account, let her figure out rent without my safety net. My phone buzzed with text from Maria. "Boss, you're trending, CEO slays scammer, sis." I smirked, scrolling through memes of Samantha's downfall. Her gala clip remixed with clown music was a personal fave. Velvet & Co. is safe again. My name? Cleared. And the vultures? Choking on the wreckage they created. I didn't need their approval anymore. Didn't need their weight dragging me down. I walked to the mirror, wine glass in hand, and stared at the woman looking back. No more quiet Vanessa, no more doormat, just me, scarred, sharp, and free. "You're enough, V," I said, voice low but firm. "Always were." I toasted my reflection, took a long sip, and let the silence settle. Samantha's empire of lies was ash. Mom's crocodile tears dried up, and I was done playing their game. The world could judge me, hero, villain. I didn't care. I'd won my way, and that was plenty. "Burn bright, bitches," I whispered, smirking into the dark. I've got my own light now. The chaos finally died down. Samantha's public meltdown and Mom's pleas were history, lost to the echoes of yesterday's trending hashtags. My phone was blissfully silent. No more sad stories or family guilt trips. I'd trimmed the unnecessary, and oh, it felt good. Sunlight streamed through the curtains, illuminating the polished desk where I'd once hunched over fake contracts and betrayals. Now what? It held a stack of new, legitimate client proposals, signed by people who weren't trying to screw me over. I kicked at my feet, sipped my latte, and let the victory sink in. This was my empire, reclaimed and shiny, no snakes allowed. The past few weeks had been a whirlwind of cleaning. I fired the accountant who rubber-stamped Samantha's scams. Sorry, buddy, blind loyalty doesn't work here. And hired a new one with eyes like a hawk. Maria got a raise, a corner office, and my undying gratitude. She'd stood by me when the ship was sinking, and that was worth more than gold. Velvet & Co.'s reputation, sure, it took a hit, but I turned it around. The press release headlined, "CEO exposes fraud, saved the day," got attention. Clients loved the drama, bookings skyrocketed, and I was back on top, family free. I smiled, flipping through a glossy magazine on my desk. Some flattering publication had called me the phoenix of event planning. Cheesy, but I accepted. I've moved, too, leaving the old apartment where Samantha's whining had soiled the doorstep. New place, new vibe, a chic loft with a view that screams, "I did it, you idiot." No more echoes of Mom's lectures or Samantha's tantrums bouncing off the walls. I've decorated it simply, clean lines, no clutter, just me and my thoughts. Last night, I stood on the balcony, the city lights stretching below, and laughed into the wind. There was no one to answer to, no one to save, just Vanessa, unburdened, sipping wine and shaking off the ghosts of her past. Freedom is a wonderful drug. Work is my focus now, not out of desperation, but out of choice. I landed a gig for a tech mogul's coming out party. 6 figures, no faking it. I walked around the venue yesterday, shouting orders to the salespeople who actually listened, feeling the old fire in my gut. This is why I built Velvet & Co., not to fend off leeches, but to run the show my way. I saw my reflection in a glass wall. Sharper suits, sharper eyes, no trace of the girl who cowered under her family's thumb. "Look at you, V," I confirmed, smirking. "Killing without flattery. The best part? Silence from the Carter clan, no lawyers, no excuses, just glorious emptiness." Rumor had it that Samantha had pawned her dress for spare change, and that my mother was living with some cousins, hiding from creditors. I didn't dig into the details. Why bother? They dug the hole. I didn't throw them a rope. My phone buzzed. A text from an old friend. "Saw your sister on the worst brides list. Are you okay?" I shot back. "Never been better. She's her own joke now." I choked up, imagining Samantha scrolling X, furious that the world had made fun of her. Sweet, petty justice. I leaned back, my latte cold, and stared at the ceiling. This wasn't the end, just the beginning of me, unfettered. No more good girl scripts, no more helpful sister shackles. I'd shed them like a bad haircut, and the mirror revealed a woman I finally liked. "You're enough, Vanessa," I said loudly, flatly, "always." I grinned, grabbed my bag, and headed out. New day, new deal, no luggage. The past can stay where it belongs. I no longer drag it around. I have more to do. And if you're listening, you've probably been hurt by the very people who were supposed to protect you. Have you ever been humbled because you thought family is forever? Or have you ever kept quiet when you were taken advantage of just because you were taught that sisters should give in to each other? Vanessa may be a character in this story, but I believe somewhere inside each of us there's a part of her. Someone who was pushed around, who was behind the scenes, who gritted her teeth to keep the peace at home. But maybe it's time to stand up, not for revenge, but to protect yourself. And if you've done that, or are thinking about it, I want to hear your story. Have you ever been betrayed by your own family? Have you ever had to choose between staying silent and standing up for yourself? Leave a comment below, not only to express, but also to give strength to someone who is hesitant, tired, looking for a reason to move on. And if you find this story worth sharing, please like, subscribe to the channel, and send it to a friend who you think might need it. Because sometimes a story at the right time can save a life.